So today I am going to be talking about the importance of healthy eating. Yes, another one those posts. But before you write this post off as just another one of your typical posts on why healthy eating is important, hear me out. Because let's be honest, there are enough of those articles out there. We all know that eating healthy is important. The problem is most of us don't do it as much as we know we should. But with everything that is going on in the world, eating healthy may be one of the most important things you can do for yourself right now. You will see why soon. Now, I'll be the first to admit that I wasn't always the healthiest eater out there. I loved my fish and chips, pizza, Coke, energy drinks, ice cream, 2-minute noodles, if you're Australian you know what I mean, pasta and Doritos. I used to pride myself on being able to turn an entire bag of Doritos, a jar of salsa and half a bag of cheese, call it a meal, nachos, and eat it all myself. I was one of those people who could eat whatever I wanted but never put on any weight. Of course, I was still eating my occasional serving of vegetables and fruit. It's just that the large majority of my diet consisted of fake food, as opposed to whole, real food. But then I began encountering some health issues, which started me on my own journey of health. And I soon began to discover the true power of food and the true importance of healthy eating. You see, as it turns out, not all food is the same. Sure, it might all come out the same way. Yeah, I went there, but what happens in between is a very different story. We all know that food is fuel. Put food in, your body breaks it down, gives you some energy, then disregards the rest. Pretty simple stuff. But as I have come to discover, there is so much more to food than most of us realize. What if I told you that the food you eat impacts the way your brain functions, from your focus to your emotions, even your mood? Or what if I told you that the food you eat impacts your hormones or your metabolism? Or what if I told you that the food you eat literally impacts your genetic expression, turning on or off disease-causing genes? What science is now calling epigenetics, meaning above genetics. Basically meaning that the food you eat and lifestyle you lead has a direct impact on the way your genes are expressing. You see, food isn't just fuel. Food is information. This means that the food that you put into your body matters much more than we previously thought. Every single bite you eat is setting off genetic programs that are either contributing to your health or breaking it down. Take, for instance, a study completed by the University of Alabama found that cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, kale, cabbage, and cauliflower contain compounds called sulforaphane and I3C, which have been shown to regulate genes responsible for eliminating cancer cells. In basic terms, anti-cancer. In fact, the study actually states cruciferous vegetables are not only an important source of nutrients but perhaps a key to eliminating cancer as a life-threatening disease. I'm sure you have all heard someone say, "What is the point of eating healthy? I'm most likely going to get insert chronic disease, diabetes, cancer, high blood pressure, Alzheimer's, anyway." Sadly, these diseases have become so common in our society that many people just believe they're a part of aging and can't be avoided. But the truth is, these alarming rates of chronic diseases are not a normal part of aging, but a reflection of the unhealthy lifestyle and eating habits most of us have adopted. Especially the food we eat. You see, there is a big difference between what a Big Mac and a big salad is going to be doing to your body. While the Big Mac might taste good at the time, this highly processed meal can barely be considered food. Chock-a-block with trans fats, flavor enhancers, and preservatives. Video blocks, and Photoshop, and because our bodies never evolved to be equipped with digesting these things. The body doesn't properly recognize them, causing genes to try to protect themselves and in doing so set off inflammation in the body, leading to chronic inflammation if done on a continuous basis. And chronic inflammation is at the root cause of most of the chronic diseases affecting our world today. Whereas a big salad, full of healthy whole foods, contains an abundance of vitamins, enzymes, coenzymes, macronutrients, and micronutrients. Pixels and Photoshop, all of which the body easily recognizes and uses to build and maintain cells, provide energy, and regulate your hormones and genes. So food matters. It matters quite a lot. Now, this doesn't mean that you can't enjoy the occasional treat or indulgence. There is nothing wrong with that. And it's okay to treat yourself every once in a while. But just remember that food plays a massive role in the way you feel, the way you think and the way your body and brain function, so it is important to ensure you're doing your best to eat healthy as often as you can. Let's take a look at why. Food and the brain. One of the biggest things affected by the food that you eat is your brain. Choosing the right or wrong foods will determine how well or not so well your brain functions. Essential fatty acids. In Vado elements, essential fatty acids like omega-3 found in nuts, grass-fed meat, fatty fish, seeds, and avocado are literally used for the creation of cell membranes and optimal brain function. While long-term consumption of unhealthy trans and saturated fats found in deep-fried and processed foods can actually compromise brain function by causing inflammation in the body and the brain. And this type of inflammation is a leading cause of Alzheimer's in later life. So it is important that you're including a variety of different sources of omega-3 in your diet. Proteins and amino acids. In Vado elements, proteins and amino acids found in animal products and plants influence how we feel and behave. You see, when you eat healthy whole food protein-dense food like eggs, salmon, or chicken, it actually stimulates brain cells to release mood-altering neurotransmitters like dopamine, serotonin, and norepinephrine, the brain's feel-good chemicals. So it is important that you're getting the right balance of proteins and amino acids in your diet from both animal and plant-based sources. Fruits and vegetables. In Vado elements, eating fruits and vegetables high in antioxidants strengthen brain function to fight free radicals and thus enable your brain to work more efficiently and for longer periods of time. Low GI foods. In Vado elements, glycemic index refers to the amount of time it takes for the body to break down carbohydrates into usable energy. When you eat high glycemic food like white bread, it causes a rapid release of glucose into the blood, which leads to a spike in blood sugar followed by the dreaded dip, which negatively impacts attention span and mood. On the other hand, when you consume low GI foods like quinoa, for instance, it causes a slow glucose release which leads to a steady level of attentiveness and focus. Food and the gut. Another reason why healthy eating is so important is that the food we eat has a direct impact on the health and diversity of our gut microbiome. If you're thinking, what the heck is the gut microbiome? Essentially, your gut microbiome is the assortment of billions of bacteria residing in your gut. In Vado elements, and the state of our gut microbiome is now being linked to everything from autoimmune diseases, diabetes, Parkinson's, cancer, and even anxiety and depression. In fact, the bacteria in your gut are responsible for everything from the assimilation of nutrients to hormone regulation, neurotransmitter production like serotonin and dopamine, and even the creation of vitamins. And one of the biggest contributing factors to the health of your gut microbiome is the foods you consume on a daily basis. Consuming an unhealthy diet full of unhealthy fats, processed foods, high sugar, and highly processed carbohydrates actually throw out the balance of bacteria in the gut, leading to a proliferation of bad bacteria. In fact, your craving for high sugar and carbohydrate foods may not entirely be your own fault, but overpopulation of bad bacteria in your gut causing you to crave these unhealthy foods. This so-called dysbiosis has been linked to a variety of different health issues and diseases. On the other hand, you can dramatically shift your gut microbiome to have more healthy bacteria. In fact, the health of your microbiome is now believed to be one of the major keys to optimal health. So it is important to eat a diet that encourages a healthy microbiome. This can be done through a whole foods-based diet, basically anything that is real food. Pexels: high amounts of non-starchy, high-fiber rich vegetables, healthy fats, and low sugar. But the most powerful way of all to shift your microbiome is through the consumption of high-quality probiotic and fermented foods. It is also important to be consuming prebiotics, which helps feed good bacteria. Think of it as a fertilizer for your garden, only this is for your inner garden, leading to more growth and diversity of good bacteria in your gut and thus leading to a healthier and more vibrant body. Some prebiotic foods include onions, garlic, asparagus, sweet potato, coconut, and leeks. So as you can now clearly see, there is so much more to healthy eating than most of us realize. Whether you're looking to focus better, get more done, have more energy, think more clearly and creatively, or just feel happier, it's important you start taking the foods you're putting in your body more seriously. Because food affects all of these things. So the next time you go to make a choice between a donut or piece of fruit, just remember that food is more than fuel. Food is information. So choose wisely.